Welcome to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. Each month, we'll feature business and community leaders sharing their stories, initiatives, concerns, and passions. Learn practical information regarding community resources and opportunities. Now, the host of Business Voice, Greece Regional Chamber President and CEO, Sarah Lentini.
Welcome, everybody, to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Site Hub. I'm delighted to welcome you all today. We have a fantastic show, starting with our presenting sponsor, Site Hub. I'm so happy to welcome Sean McKay.
Thanks for having me back, Sarah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's right. It's your second time on the show. It's certainly not going to be your last, and you've had a lot of exciting things happen to you this past year, and I'm hoping that you'll talk to us a little bit about them. And I want to lead off with the fact that you were just named for the second year in a row, right? Best in Digital Marketing by none other than Digital Rochester. Is that correct?
It is. I'm blushing.
You're blushing. You are blushing. Nobody can see this but me and Bob D'Angelo here in the studio with us. That's actually charming. So Congratulations. That's a tremendous achievement.
Thank you.
Yeah. This means that you and your team are doing great things. But can you tell our listening audience what it is that you do? Because that's a big universe, right? Digital marketing.
Yeah. So, we just started off our company 10 years ago as a just simple website development company. And from there, we've moved well beyond the scope of just developing custom websites and now handle digital marketing efforts. So helping people improve their search ranking, or a big service that we're offering, well, hopefully we can talk about today, is lead generation, helping companies actually generate new business using the internet.
Yeah, that's a huge and growing area, right?
Absolutely. It's what everybody's always wanted out of digital marketing or advertising in general. Why do you put out a billboard? Well, you hope to grow the business, right?
Right.
And so we're getting into a time now where it's very tangible and direct and trackable, where I could show you this dollar brought you this person. Right.
Which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's almost a little scary.
It gets scary.
It's a little scary. But it is actually, I think it's possibly more than some people even realize, it could be achieved with digital marketing. Because if you think about old-fashioned traditional print and broadcast marketing, you were hoping to reach somebody. Mm-hmm. You were hoping to get into their ears or their eyes or both, and you were hoping that you could provoke them into kind of checking you out, right?
Yeah.
Picking up the phone and calling you, or, going to an event. But this is beyond that, as you were saying. This is about giving the advertiser, through digital marketing, not just the ability to reach a potential target market, but also the ability to get a little bit of a refined sense of who might be responsive or more likely to respond, as opposed to just the big broad swath of communication that I think we've had in the past. So and I just want to say you did an amazing job. You presented to the Greece Regional Chamber membership a few months back on this very topic, and I know that first of all, it was sold out. Scared a few people. Yeah, that's right. You're not doing your job if you didn't scare somebody. And then, not only was it a very popular topic, and we were standing room only, but also I got nothing but positive feedback from that.
Awesome.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Can you, for those of us who are a little bit, less initiated, can you walk us through a little bit more? Because lead generation is indeed what you've made a point of saying. That's an area of specialty for you and your firm, Site Hub.
Right.
So, without giving away any state secrets, so if I'm advertising and I want to advertise in the digital marketing space, first of all, where do I advertise?
Yes.
Right? What are the basics of where do I go? Assume no knowledge, because if it were me listening, that's what you would have.
Yeah.
Basically no knowledge.
Yeah, right. I think you mentioned broadcast and traditional media. It's worth noting that the way that we advertised even 10 or 15 years ago, and still today even, in large is by using demographics as our targeting tool. So we look at TV, they filter demographics by the station. You have the Home and Garden station that's targeting a specific demographic. Certain radio stations target different types of listeners.
Looking at Bob right now.
And what we do online now is, instead of targeting by demographics, we target by behaviors. So we target people and advertise directly to people who we know are a really close behavioral fit to your existing target market, to your existing customer base, and who are actually in market to buy whatever it is you're selling. Mm-hmm. So they're actively searching for it. So like, let's say you sell houses, you're a realtor. You don't want to advertise to everybody in a certain age range because maybe 2/5 of those people just bought a house, and the other quarter of them bought a house in the last year and aren't looking. You know, there's a large portion that aren't in the market. Now, with the tools we have, we can simply reach out to people who are looking to buy or sell a house, and that's as simple as that.
That's amazing.
And when we do that, we find that our cost for a lead goes way down. People get more qualified leads.
Right.
And that's what everybody wants.
And, I mean, again, without giving away any state secrets, where does that information come from?
All right, listen in, my competitors. Here we are.
Don't give away, really, don't give away state secrets, but generally, it's coming off the internet, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, so like everything we do in our lives as Americans, especially, where privacy rules and regulations are quite slim and unregulated. Yeah, I mean, our data is not really protected here in the U.S. very much.
Okay.
Obviously, you can't go around and steal people's Social Security number and get away with it, but what you do on the internet is not private, and we all understand that. We all open our browser with the understanding and expectation that everything we're going to do is tracked, or at least you should.
I'm forewarned. I don't know if I really did have that understanding until just now. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Okay, so you should know that whatever you're looking for is kind of public.
Yeah, and incognito doesn't help. But anywho, that data is bought and sold on the marketplace, and there's big data aggregators that exist, and they're some of the most profitable companies. The biggest commodity sold today, I believe, is data.
Yep.
Above all else, tangible goods.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I mean, water's probably up there, but data might even be better. Who has the water, right? There's data.
Right. Oh, good point.
So, yeah, I mean, we can go to these marketplaces and basically put in an order for who we're looking for and what they've recently done on the internet, where they've been even. Like, we all have a smartphone. Well, it's a tracking device.
Wow.
You guys all should read Edward Snowden's new book, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. But... you know, the tracking devices we all carry in our pockets are collecting information about where we're going,
right?
Our buying habits, how we use social media, what we're interested in, and that's the type of information that we tap into to find really good targeted audiences. Now, I think, as I mentioned in my little presentation for the chamber, that's scary to most people.
Sure.
But as a business owner, that should be exciting.
Right.
We should look at it like as an opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah. Think of all of the time and money you can save by being much more focused in terms of who you reach out to, who you speak to, somebody that actually wants to hear what you have to say.
And that's a big piece too.
Yeah.
There's a stat that 70% of people say they'd rather have targeted advertisements.
Right.
In that they'd rather see if they're going to see an ad, they'd rather it be something they might like.
Absolutely.
Versus something that is totally uninteresting to them.
Yeah, that's a very positive aspect, absolutely. Yeah. In case you're just joining us, you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by SiteHub. And I'm delighted to be sitting here with the owner and the founder of SiteHub, Sean McKay. So tell us a little bit now about your evolution. I know, you know, maybe a quick version. I know we talked about this the last time we came on, because you were kind of a child prodigy, right?
This was your
about that. Yeah. This whole arena.
We did talk about that.
We did talk about it because you were quite young when you got involved in I guess I'll call it IT, but I'm not even sure that's the right term. But.
Yeah. Technology was always my thing. I don't know if I mentioned on the last one, but basically I got into it because of a bone disease.
Oh no, you didn't.
Yeah. So I have a bone disease where I, as a kid, would fall and break a bone.
Oh,
goodness. Don't feel bad.
I feel
it
terrible.
Worked out.
Oh.
But basically, like, I couldn't play sports, that was for sure. And because of that, I turned to technology instead. Kind of classic geek story, right? But actually, it was funny. I always blame it on my first bone doctor. He basically prescribed me a PlayStation. as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, so I was in 2 arm casts or whatever, broken up, and he recommended that I do something to move my fingers to kind of stimulate muscle and, whatever, keep me busy, I guess. So I got a PlayStation.
Great prescription.
Great prescription.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well done, Doc.
Yeah.
And from there, I tried to figure out, how did that thing work? And I had computers and wanted to know how those worked. And that old story somehow translates to me growing into an adult in IT, I guess. I just have always been into this passion. Built my first website when I was 13.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I remembered. That I think you said before. Yeah.
And, here we are.
And here we are.
It's easy, right? It's
Very
magic.
Easy. Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're successful.
Yeah. Right? And now you've got a great new office, and you're located downtown, correct?
Yep. Yeah, we're in we're adjacent to the Metro Co-work building downtown, right on East and Alexander.
Fantastic. And Metro Co-work is an exciting thing as well.
Yeah,
right?
They are. They're a client of ours, and they're a great new community for startups and small businesses and even remote business employees. Like we have. It's there's another large company there, but companies from all over the world who have remote employees are putting them into co-works like that. Yeah. Yeah,
this is sort of the hot new thing that's sweeping the country, and in some respects, it may not be as new as some people think it is.
No, I don't think so.
However, it's got a whole new
feels
brand.
New. Yeah.
It feels new. Yeah. That's right, and it's a new wave for this generation. I had said to somebody when I was a bit younger, and I was actually working in the New York City area. One of my first jobs, we were a smaller company. We were starting up, and we worked in a space that was a shared space. It was actually in Penn Plaza, Penn Station, right above Penn Station. And, you had a space, we had a very small office space, but then we had shared services. We had a shared assistant, shared secretarial, reception,
coffee,
conference room. I don't remember if the coffee was shared or not.
It
that
is
would
at
be
Metro.
Really important. It is at Metro. See, that could be new.
Yeah.
That would be a major selling
Free
point for
coffee
me.
on tap.
So, in some respects, that kind of an idea has existed before, but this is a little bit different because the offices are not separate, right?
Yeah.
And that seems to be the new twist, that people want to actually remove those walls between, there's a shared space with offices that are wall-less, so that you can actually interact with the other tenants, with the other businesses.
Exactly.
So that's got to have a lot of great energy to it, a lot of new energy. So
it does.
Yeah.
Because it becomes synergistic, I think is the hip term.
That's the hip term.
We work with a lot of the other co-work members. They offer different talents, and they're just it's nice to have kind of a community you can tap on without having to go online and find a remote worker who you don't know right here in your building. You can do it.
Now, it's a great idea because sometimes you're right, you have somebody right next door to you and you might not realize it if there's a wall between you who actually could be a wonderful partner or customer. So, kudos to everybody who came up with this. In case you're just joining us, you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce sponsored by Site Hub. And we are actually sitting here and talking with the owner, the founding owner of Site Hub. I know you have some other titles, I'm guessing president, CEO, a couple of other initials, right?
Legal names.
Sean McKay. And one of the things I want to make sure to mention is that Sean McKay and Site Hub are actually finalists for this year's, for the 2019, for the Greece Regional Chamber and Genesee Regional Bank's 2019 Micro Enterprise of the Year.
Yes.
And that's a very big deal.
Super excited
the Chamber has, for the past 11 years, the Greece Regional Chamber and Genesee Regional Bank is the presenting sponsor for
the entire time.
Wow. From the entire 11 years. We have had an annual nomination and review process that has spanned the region. It's been a little bit Greece-centric, but it's not Greece-exclusive, and you're a great case in point. Site Hub is not based in Greece. Half of our membership is outside of Greece, something that people don't realize. And we have a selection committee made up of other chamber members. Most of them are actually past recipients, so they really understand the process and the award. And we select 3 finalists in 2 different categories: Small Business of the Year, Micro Enterprise of the Year. The differences really has to do with, sort of annual revenue, gross annual sales, and we make a big deal out of all 6 of you finalists because you are now emerging as the best of the best, and there were well over 80 nominations this year. So very competitive landscape. You're honored, and so are we. We've got a wonderful group of nominees, semi-finalists, and then finalists, and we're really delighted that Site-Hub is being recognized. For the great work that you do. So one of the things I wanted to just make sure that we talked about a little bit is, how you are working with other businesses in the community, who it is that you're partnering with. I know that, we're hoping to do a little bit of a partnership with you. Yeah. And obviously you're doing a partnership downtown. What is it? Is it 350 East Ave?
It is.
350 East Ave. Wondering if you've got, other sorts of things that you want to bring up, events, partnerships, visions, anything that you'd like to let the listening audience know about that might be coming down the pike. And then I want to make sure people know how to get to you because, Site-Hub, 350 East Ave, it's great, but not everybody drives everywhere. And especially here we are talking about digital marketing and the Internet. And so we want to make sure to get some contact information out there. Of course.
Yeah. Well, that part's easy. Our website's yoursitehub.com, and all of our social media is Site-Hub. So you can find us on Instagram at Site-Hub or on Facebook on Site-Hub. So as far as partnerships, though, and things going on, obviously the things you mentioned, thank you very much. We're really happy to be recognized for the Small Business of the Year and Micro Enterprise of the Year, and obviously the Best in Digital Marketing twice in a row.
Awesome.
I have to say with that, I was up against really great companies, too. Like the two other finalists are companies, honestly, that I look up to. They're larger than mine, rather. They're many times bigger. So it was really, I was truly honored again. I can't find a better word to have won that award. And
it's really impressive. Yeah, it was really impressive.
Yeah, my mouth hit the floor a little bit. So
and 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row, yeah.
Yeah.
And right here outside, you guys are going to be talking with one of my other clients, Neighborworks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Great.
so Neighborworks is we just launched their multi-site websites rather. So there's 3 or 4 websites we put together for them, and we've been working with them for over 5 years. So they just happen to be in the building at the same time, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, serendipitous because I had no idea you guys were connected.
Yeah,
I
saw it today. Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah.
But yeah, really, our big thing for 2020 is we're actually going to be giving away our methodologies.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of the stuff we've spent the last 10 years building, including how to correctly build a website, like the real best practices around what we call a smart site, we're going to be giving that away, including how to quote it out, how to price it. So if you're an up-and-coming agency that want to building websites, we'll tell you exactly how to price that. Or even if you're buying a website, we'll tell you what to expect in terms of what that price should be. We're going to put that out to the public, how we price. We're telling people exactly how we build them, our standards, our quality control lists. We're giving everything away next year.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you think you're taking a gamble?
So, I think that we've certainly been proud of what we have built and have revised it many times over and continued to improve upon it. And I think there's honestly some of my competition, smaller and larger, that don't have some of those things. Mm-hmm. But I'm not afraid to give away that information because I know that that's not actually what makes us unique. Like the thing, what we do is great. We do a really nice job at all of our services. But I think what sets us apart is being small but mighty. Like we're focused on our customers, and I take care of my people and my employees. So I don't think that's going to change just because I give away my processes.
The methodology is only part of what you bring. The other part is that you use that methodology to tailor what you're doing specifically to the customer. Yeah,
and if you don't do that already, then you shouldn't be in business.
That's awesome. Sean McKay, Site-Hub, congratulations once again on being a finalist for the Micro Enterprise and Small Business of the Year Awards this year, coming up soon. And also congratulations on being named Best in Digital Marketing by none other than Digital Rochester for the second year in a row. That's just fantastic. And we're so delighted that you came by to see us once again on Business Voice. Sean, let's just say that website one more time. It's
yoursitehub.com.
Yoursitehub.com. That's your, Y-O-U-R, site, S-I-T-E, hub, H-U-B.com. Yoursitehub.com. Right. In case anybody didn't get that, right? I want to make sure they got it. I'm just into clarity, Wonderful. Thank you again.
Thank you, Sarah.
And many, many congratulations. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Business Voice. All right, stick around. We have much more to come. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Need help with health insurance? The Greece Regional Chamber provides assistance with health insurance for businesses, nonprofits, families, and individuals throughout our region. We pride ourselves on the personalized service that we provide for our clients. Let us help you find health insurance plans that fit your needs and navigate the paperwork. Greece Chamber Benefit Partners, located at 2402 Westridge Road in Rochester, New York, offers a broad range of medical insurance plans for businesses, nonprofits, individuals, and families throughout the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region, working with insurance companies including Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, Univera, and MVP Healthcare. We can also help you access insurance plans through the New York State of Health, the official health plan marketplace. Again, you do not need to live or work in Greece to utilize our brokerage services. We serve the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region of New York State. Visit greecechamber.org to sign up for one of our free health insurance information sessions or schedule an appointment with one of our licensed brokers. Call 585-227-7272. 585-227-7272.
So you tried to fix your own plumbing and the bathroom is flooded. Nice work. Don't make the same mistake twice by building your website yourself. Let the experts at SiteHub build a world-class site to match your world-class business. One that generates leads, sales, and wows visitors. Talk to SiteHub today, 585-300-4640, and online at yoursitehub.com. SiteHub, voted best in digital marketing by Tech Rochester 2 years running. At Canandaigua National Bank and Trust, we understand that each business has its own unique financial needs. We also recognize that it takes a collection of banking services to meet them. That is why we assemble a team of financial experts to provide deposit, lending, and cash management solutions to meet them. Let us put our market knowledge and local decision-making to work for you. Canandaigua National Bank and Trust, investing in you, your business, and your community. Deposit Products member FDIC.
2.5 times more power. FM 92.1, FM 95.5 West. WYSL.
Welcome back. I'm Sarah Lentini, and you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by SiteHub. I'm delighted to welcome my next guests, and there are three of them. One of them is a repeat guest. We're delighted to welcome back Laura Smythe, Mortgage Loan Officer from Genesee Regional Bank. GRB, of course, is a wonderful supporter and sponsor of the Greece Regional Chamber, including our annual Small Business Awards, which is now in its 11th year. So I want to start by saying thank you, Laura, and welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Terrific. And you're joined here today by two folks from Neighborworks Community Partners Rochester, Amanda Smith, who is Director of Development and Marketing, and Jeremy Carter, who is a home ownership advisor. Welcome, guys. We're really glad that you're here. I don't know much about Neighborworks, and I'm guessing the listening audience is going to be excited to learn a little bit about what you do as well. So, Laura, I'm going to start with you because you're our link and our history and our supporter. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing these days. Obviously, you're very involved in this residential mortgage space, including affordable home ownership space, and I'm guessing Neighborworks is a partner of yours. So tell us a little bit about GRB's role in the residential mortgage arena.
Sure. Well, we are delighted to be here and talk to the employees and the listeners of the Greece Chamber of Commerce. Genesee Regional Bank is a wonderful local community bank in Rochester. We have 3 branches. branches. We have our wonderful new branch on West Ridge Road in the Kohl's Plaza, which we're excited to be having a little bit more space and a really nice location for our customers to use. We have a branch in Pittsford Plaza, which is across the street from the Cheesecake Factory, and then our headquarters are at 1850 Winton Road South in Brighton, and that's where the majority of our GRB employees are located. We started off as a commercial bank and have branched out, and now we have a really strong mortgage lending group. We do a really good job, and we have a retail banking group as well. So we feel that, for a small bank, we really have everything that all of the big banks have to offer, but we do things a little bit differently because we're small, and we really take that customer service approach and love to meet with our clients face to face and make sure that we're helping them with the right mortgage transaction. In today's world, you can get a mortgage online at 11 p.m. in your pajamas by going to an online bank, but is it the right mortgage? And are there any first-time homebuyer programs that you're eligible for? And did anyone explain to you that there are these grants that are available that you may be able to use for the purchase of your new home? So we collaborate a lot with local real estate agents and local nonprofit agencies and local attorneys and really try and make sure that our customers know about all of these wonderful programs, and we really try and spread the word about homeownership in Rochester.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, you've been on before, and you've made really clear that you are looking to connect the dots for your customers and make things as easy and accessible as you possibly can, which is a wonderful thing to hear. Buying a home is intimidating, right?
It is.
And, it can even be intimidating if you're in the field, I imagine, but it's especially intimidating if you're not, and especially if it's the first time for you. So it's great to have folks like all of you to turn to. Yeah. So let's hear a little bit about Neighborworks. Neighborworks Community Partners Rochester. I'm looking at you, Amanda, because you're the Director of Development and Marketing, Amanda Smythe. Smythe with a Y and an E at the end. I love it. The original British incarnation, I guess I would say, of Smith, probably, right? But tell us a little bit about your company and what you do.
Sure.
You're a nonprofit, for starters?
We are, yes.
I figured you might be, yep.
Yeah. So Neighborworks Community Partners Rochester is a nonprofit organization. We're located on South Avenue, downtown in Rochester.
Is that the South Wedge?
Yeah, right in the South Wedge. Okay. Absolutely. We love it there. So our organization is committed to offering quality programs and services to help folks create, to create a home, to build healthy, safe homes in terms of some of the programmings that we offer, as well as help people build personal wealth through becoming homeowners, and just building a vibrant community around them. So, all those wonderful things that come with having a home.
So are you there to sort of do the guiding? I mean, do you provide guidance for people? So if somebody's looking to buy a home, they can turn to you and you're going to help tell them about what resources are available to them?
Absolutely.
And you're in the South Wedge, but how big is your footprint in terms of the service area?
All of Monroe County, yep.
Oh, all of Monroe County?
Yeah, we serve a lot of folks in the city of Rochester, but we expand, into Monroe County as well. Okay.
And if I want to buy a home, can I pick up the phone and call one of you? Can I call you, Jeremy? Can I call you, Amanda?
Yeah.
Because, Jeremy, your role sounds like it's really, you're really working hand in glove with the homeowner or prospective homeowner, correct?
Yeah, correct.
So do people come through your doors a variety of ways? And do they have to be pre-screened? Do they have to meet an income limit? Or can anybody come to you for help?
Sure.
Sorry, that was like 10 questions. You pick one.
So a lot of folks come to us. Either they find us on the web, they give us a call, they walk through the door, send us an email, and, from that initial conversation, we assess what it is that they need. So if they're looking to become a homeowner, we connect them to someone like Jeremy who can help them figure out where they need to start in the process.
Okay. And this is open to any and all residents of Monroe County?
Yep. And if someone called us from Canandaigua and said, "Hey, I need some help. Can we come talk to you?" We wouldn't turn them away either. So.
Oh, that's very nice to know. So if you're a nonprofit, do you get government funds? Do you get private funds? A combination of the two?
Combination. We work with the city of Rochester. We work with Monroe County. We work with New York State. So we have a lot of channels. We have some really incredible bank partners like Genesee Regional that support our work as well. So, we get support, both funding and, in kind, in terms of time and talent to help us out. Yeah.
Wonderful. And you're Director of Development and Marketing.
Correct.
So that sounds sort of like a big, broad, organization-wide kind of a role, right?
Yes, I wear a lot of hats.
Does the development mean you do fundraising or you do grant writing or a combination of the two?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So you're trying to make sure that the organization sustains itself.
Exactly.
It's a big job.
Yep.
And then marketing, meaning that sort of at the 20,000-foot level, you're trying to get the word out about what the organization does.
Absolutely.
And then, Jeremy, tell us a little bit about your role. Are you working with a person who's calling in and looking for help?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the homeownership advisor there. And as we had said before, homeownership can be sort of a complicated, intimidating process, but it doesn't really have to be. So, we're there as a resource for any home buyer. We offer education classes. We normally start off with like a 1-hour orientation for people that come in. It's open. It's usually like the first Wednesdays of the month, where we sit down and go over, how the process is going to work of just buying a home, how our counseling services work. And we usually have a lot of bank partners that come in, Laura being one of them, just so that they can meet with the people and, those people can get a feel for what the banks offer, what the process is going to be.
Awesome.
But outside of that, we offer an 8-hour education course that's required for any first-time home buyers to utilize any sort of grant programs available to them in the area. But again, we have any member of their home buying team that they're going to work with, like a realtor, a banker, an insurance agent, a home inspector, like all come into the class, give presentations to these people so that they know who they are, their importance to the process, what to expect in working with them, as well as, we kind of walk them through the really ground level, step by step, what to expect going through the homeownership process as well.
And all of this is free to the consumer.
Correct.
WYSL Avon Rochester.
That's pretty amazing.
So our class, the 8-hour class, there, I think it's an $85 fee, but like all the counseling, we do one-on-one counseling with people too, just to sort of assess their situation. Again, help them figure out what grant or other resources may be available to them, as well as just sort of step-by-step, walking them through the process so they know, if there's any hurdles in their way, like credit issues, budgeting, we work with them on putting together a plan to make the homeownership dream possible for them.
Terrific.
Yeah. I did want to say our orientation, our 1-hour orientation that we do is free.
That's very nice.
Yeah. So we have there's a couple steps in the process. Just getting started is absolutely free process, and then from there it's you got to have a little skin in the game, and for that, there's a certificate that comes out of it. There's a requirement, so you get to spend 8 hours with us. Really, really going into detail if you decide to move forward.
But none of this is particularly expensive either. It's pretty accessible by definition, right?
Absolutely.
You're trying to make it pretty accessible to the majority of potential homeowners. In case you're just joining us, you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Site Hub. And I'm delighted to be talking to folks from GRB and Neighborworks Community Partners Rochester. That is a mouthful, your name. We were talking about that earlier. And really hearing about all of the great resources that are available through GRB and Neighborworks for pretty much anybody in Monroe County looking to buy a home. And there potentially are also some grants available, and that's what we haven't talked about. I have sort of two questions. One is, and I'm looking at Laura just because I'm looking at Laura, right? Because I know she knows the answer to this question, but I'm guessing all three of you know the answer, and that is what kind of grants are available. And then the other is, just to think about this, if somebody's interested, where do they start? Do they start with a GRB? Do they start with Neighborworks? Does it matter?
Sure. So to answer your first question, there are a lot of grants out there, and we would probably talk for hours if we were to go into detail about every grant that is available.
Which is great news.
It's
That's
great news.
Yeah.
But a lot of customers don't often know how to get started and how to tap into these grants. And the first real step is just having a conversation with either Neighborworks or with GRB. People will call in and say, I got your name from somewhere and I'm interested in home ownership, and that is the first step. We will pull a credit report. We will talk to them about their employment and their income. We will talk to them about their home ownership goals. Where do they want to buy? What is their comfort level for a mortgage payment? How much cash do you have to work with? And then we can identify what grants are available to them, because grants are sums of money that can help them with down payment and closing costs, but they all have different rules and regulations, particularly income limits based on family size. So it's a great feeling to be able to sit across from a homeowner and share with them, hey, did you know that you're eligible for the Home Buyer Dream Grant through GRB? That's up to $15,000 for down payment and closing costs.
It's a nice amount of money.
Yeah, and did you know that the City of Rochester also offers grant money, and I can give you an application information and explain to you how that works. And did you know that the County of Monroe also has grant money, and here's an application, and here are the rules and the regulations. So I think the hardest part for customers is many people will just go into homeownership, and very late in the process they'll find out, oh, are there any grants available? Oh, well, no, you have to apply for them before you find the house. So we're really trying to get the word out and say, look, if you're trying to plan to purchase a home in 2020, now is a great time to have that conversation with GRB or with Neighborworks to see what am I eligible for and what do I need to do to apply for the grant funding.
Yeah, that would hurt to find out that you could have potentially been eligible for something. And you can be employed. You can have a salary.
Yeah.
You don't have to be unemployed to qualify for these grants, right? Because I think that's what a lot of people, that's my guess, is that a lot of people in the listening audience might think, well, you know, I'm not without income, so I'm not likely to qualify. But you might be surprised, is sort of what I'm hearing, right?
The income limits are quite generous. I mean, they're typically, depending on household size, for example, the Homebuyer Dream Grant for a 1- and 2-person household, the income limit is about $62,000 a year, so you have to be under that income limit. And then for a 3 or more person household, the income limit is about $72,000 a year. So it's quite generous.
It is quite generous. Yeah, it's surprisingly generous. So you're right. Well, thank you for showing, giving us a couple of illustrations. That's I think that's likely to make people pick up the phone and give you guys a call. Yeah. So speaking of which, how do people get in touch with you? Laura, can we start with you?
Sure. So at any point in time, you can always go to our GRB website, which is www.grbbank.com. All of our information is on our GRB website. You can go to our GRB Facebook page, or you can pick up the phone, and you can call GRB directly at 585-249-1540. That's our main office. Or you can just call Laura Smythe directly. I work with a lot of grants and first-time homebuyer programs, and my phone number is 585-749-3608. That's really the best way to get started. There's a lot of resources that are available online, but nothing is as good as that introductory phone call where I can just explain how it works, what I'm going to ask you, what the process is, what the next few steps will be, so that we can create a comfort level with that customer and take that intimidation out. I mean, getting a mortgage is the biggest financial transaction of your life. People are terrified. When they come in and meet with me in person, you can tell that they're nervous, and we really want to take that fear and that anxiousness out of the conversation and say, if we do things the right way and we plan for things the right way, you can be a successful homeowner and you can tap into some first-time homebuyer programs to help you.
That's great. That's wonderful. And if everybody, if you threw out a lot of information, contact information, your website is GRBbank.com.
There's
right?
2 B's.
Two intentional B's. That's why I'm saying it that way.
GRBbank.com.
GRBbank.com. And are you listed on the website, Laura?
Yes, I am.
Laura Smythe, GRBbank.com. And before we let you go, you guys, it sounds like you have events all the time. I know probably both organizations and all 3 of you are involved in events of all kind. You mentioned that there's something that you have, what is it, every Wednesday? Or did I hear you correctly?
Wednesday of every month we do our homeowner orientations.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So are there any events that people could be signing up for the homeowner orientation first Wednesday? How would they do that?
So folks can visit us online at www.nwcprochester.org or give us a call at 585-325-4170. And you can go ahead and get signed up for our free homebuyer orientation class. We call it Intro to Home Buying. As Jeremy said, it's usually the first Wednesday of every month, and we do two sessions. One is what time again?
It's
11:30.
Yep.
I always get that one mixed up. So 11:30 and
then 6 p.m.
So if you can't make the lunchtime one, you can make the after work class.
So all kinds of great information and platforms that you can plug into. And if you forget everything else, GRBbank.com, Laura Smythe, She'll probably come with you to the orientation center. I'm kind of teasing, but she'll be able to plug you into everything else, and of course everything's always on the chamber website. If you're looking for GRB, they're right on the homepage of our website. But it's grbbank.com. Thank you guys so much for joining us here today. Laura Smith, Amanda Smythe, Jeremy Carter. Thank you so much for being here on Business Voice. And Laura, you got to come back.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, don't go anywhere. We've got another wonderful segment coming up, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
Feel the power of liberty with new, bigger FM 92.1 WYSL.
RadiantHire Solutions is igniting growth in the Rochester and Buffalo areas for manufacturing, healthcare, legal firms, and industries small and large. They help companies hire and retain their top employees while increasing revenue so they can stay focused on their core business. Having difficulty finding and retaining top performers for your industry? Give them a call. They work with all types of positions, from manufacturing and executive level to technical and healthcare and everything in between. Their onboarding programs have helped all types of businesses retain their top employees. Or perhaps you need a partner to meet your sales needs without the ramp-up time and turnover of an in-house team. Schedule a free consultation to see how outsourcing sales can benefit your business. They also offer exclusive discounts and special consideration for Grease Chamber members. Where does your business need more support? Give us a call and we'll be with you every step of the way. Visit RadiantHireSolutions.com or call 585-734-3905.
So you tried to fix your own plumbing and the bathroom is flooded. Nice work. Don't make the same mistake twice by building your website yourself. Let the experts at SiteHub build a world-class site to match your world-class business. One that generates leads, sales, and wows visitors. Talk to SiteHub today, 585-300-4640. And online at yoursitehub.com. SiteHub, voted best in digital marketing by Tech Rochester 2 years running.
If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Grease Regional Chamber of Commerce. We're the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Grease to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we're better together, and together, we're moving business forward. Visit greasechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today.
Bigger, more powerful. FM 92.1, FM 95.5 West, WYSL.
Welcome back. You're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Grease Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by SiteHub. I'm Sarah Lentini. I'm delighted to welcome my next guest, Lori Parker of Parker Law Office. Welcome, Lori.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have you on. I think it's the first time we're having you on Business Voice, and Lori is no stranger to the Grease Regional Chamber of Commerce. In fact, she is not just a board member of the Grease Regional Chamber, but she is also the vice chair of the board of the Grease Regional Chamber, new this year. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. It's
wonderful.
A pleasure.
Yeah. And you've been practicing law in and around
more years than I could possibly imagine.
And I wasn't necessarily asking for a number, but you've got quite a bit of experience, not just with the law, but you focus on
elder law.
Elder law.
Correct.
Yeah.
You may want to know what elder law is.
I do. I know our listening audience does.
Many people wonder what exactly elder law encompasses. And I've got a number of ways of describing it. So first of all, elder law is not just for one generation that happens to have reached a certain age. Elder law really embraces all of the generations, because what happens to a family's wealth, and typically that's the older generation, reverberates down through the middle generation, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, potentially even generations not yet born. So it's not just something that we should think of as, oh, it's just an older people thing. It encompasses the whole family. Also, elder law, I think of it as the director of traffic at the intersection of family, finances, and freedom. Those three F's are a theme that run through just about every area of law that we address. And within that broad umbrella of elder law topics, we typically have estate planning, which includes creating wills, but there are typically more efficient methods to pass along family wealth. And so we discuss wills and alternatives to wills that can help to keep assets outside of the probate court process. That's typically an easier, less invasive, and often less expensive means of transferring the asset rather than going through the court process. Sometimes part and parcel of the estate planning process, we are also doing asset protection. That is setting up people's assets in such a way that they cannot be touched by creditors. And the creditor that's most relevant in the elder law context relates to nursing home care. Now, I don't know who thought that nursing homes are any less worthy of being paid than anyone else, but let's just accept that as the way things are. And it makes sense. It does make sense in a way. People work hard all of their lives. They want to be able to pass along wealth to the next generation. They want to be able to live in a standard of, middle-class comfort if that's what they've been living with for all of their life. So since we have a rather difficult and fractionalized system for delivery of health care and long-term care, we're stuck with this crazy system where people have to make themselves look poor, at least on paper, in order to receive help from the government through Medicaid to help finance nursing home care. And the way that one titles a piece of property, so it's just a piece of paper that says, it says one set of words, that asset is protected. If the paper says another set of words, the asset is vulnerable, and the person would have to use that asset completely before the county would assist them with Medicaid benefits.
So now I can really understand why people need an attorney with your expertise and why they're coming to you.
Yes.
Because it can make all the difference between their being able to be solvent and taken care of, and the family, not being the family wealth, not being completely eroded, or not. Yeah. So
correct. And if you just look at a Medicaid application itself, easily downloaded from online, it doesn't look that complicated. It doesn't look that difficult. It's just a lot of basic information about the person, their assets. That's not really the hard, or the challenging part of working with Medicaid. The challenging part is setting up the person's assets in advance, hopefully, because that offers the greatest amount of protection. When we're assisting someone with a Medicaid application, we must provide 5 years history of financial records for every single account that has existed. Even if it's closed now, even if it only had $2 in it for the whole 5 years, we still need to get those records because the county wants to assess whether the person has just given away money in an effort to look poor on paper.
So they're looking back.
They are looking back. That is correct. And so structuring assets in advance so that the person's taken care of well in advance of the 5 years is the best strategy.
Yeah,
that's the best strategy. That's where we can protect the most and we have the most flexibility.
Right.
But many people don't do that. Many people wait, or they think it won't happen to me, or the law will change and how do I know?
Or they don't even know.
Or they don't even know.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
So often we're dealing with people who have a relative who has just had a health crisis, whether a fall or a stroke, and that person, it may be unknown at present whether they will need nursing care for the long term or whether it's just going to be a short-term rehabilitation. But what they do know is they need to do something.
Right.
And in that more emergency type situation, we can still help people, but we are more limited in what we can do. We can still protect for most people about half of the assets that they have.
Significant, yeah.
Yes, and and sometimes more than that again, depending on what the asset is and how it is titled. we may be able to protect more rather than less. But it's never too late to make a plan, but it's important to remember that the earlier that you plan, the more options you have and the greater efficacy that you have for what you do.
So, I'm really hearing, and this actually resonates for me based on, my own family, my own experience.
Absolutely.
It really makes sense to be taking a look at how to protect your assets into your older years as early as possible, quite frankly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And people who are in middle age, they may be doing their own planning as well as planning for a parent. I have many clients who are in their late 60s, early 70s, even beyond, who have a parent who is still alive. So we've got really two generations, and then the generation behind them should be getting ready as well. Many, many people have had the difficult experience of having a parent with dementia or with a chronic and serious health problem that has made care just very, very challenging.
Right.
One thing that I think it's really important for listeners to know is that nursing homes are not the only answer for long-term care. Nursing homes do not have a special magic formula for taking care of people. In fact, many nursing homes are woefully understaffed. A person can be cared for at home. In most instances, perhaps if there's a serious behavioral issue, institutional care is essential. But for most people, there's nothing that a nursing home would do that you can't do at home. And the Medicaid program has the whole area devoted to nursing home Medicaid and paying for that. But there's also a different variant of long-term care Medicaid, and that variant allows for care in the community. You're giving them the same basic information about yourself, but there's not the 5-year look-back requirement.
Oh, really?
So it's a much more liberal and flexible program. So people can transfer assets much more freely out of their own name and qualify for benefits. It is not an easy, simple process. It is very bureaucratic. The information, again, the information itself is not difficult, but it's negotiating the system.
Understanding what
that
words
is the challenge.
mean, understanding how they'll be interpreted.
Filled with acronyms.
Interesting.
MLTC, FI.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one. Okay. You stumped me on the first one, Lori.
Managed long-term care plan.
Of course. Well, now that you say it.
It's like an HMO type plan that
Very
delivers
cool.
Medicaid
Right,
services.
Right. In case you're just joining us, you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by SiteHub. I'm Sarah Lentini, and I'm joined here by Lori Parker of Parker Law Office, who is describing to us the importance of protecting one's assets and having a plan early, and that is what she focuses on. Her practice focuses on elder law, which is, as she's made a point of saying to us, really is an area of the law that impacts all generations. It isn't just about a particular age group. So, Lori, how did you get? I'm going to just take a step back here. How did you get involved in elder law? Were you always an attorney focused on elder law? Because you probably were an attorney longer than you were a specialist, right?
That is correct, and we really shouldn't say that we're specialists.
I'm
but
sorry,
but
my
it
word,
is
not yours.
It is a more more focused practice than just a regular general practice.
Yes. That was a layperson's term. Pardon me.
In any event, I've been a lawyer for many years. About 15 years ago, I got interested in the area of elder law, and it arose sort of synergistically with life matters as well as professional interests. So, it's always nice when we go to law school with the ideals of helping someone to actually be able to help someone.
Absolutely.
And I had found some of my past career paths to be not feeling as much that I was helping someone. So elder law seemed a more positive professional focus. And around the same time, in my personal life, my mother was experiencing increasing levels of dementia and, making not very good choices, being scammed financially, and just so tragic, a person who had been so financially responsible and child of the Depression, frugal, good saver, and then to see thousands of dollars going out to scams and no one being willing to step in and protect. It was so frustrating. Many people are well-meaning, but they just won't take the step that needs to be taken. And that's where the issue of freedom comes in. I'm a real advocate for maintaining as much freedom as possible for elders. And again, that goes back to the care in the community. You have much greater autonomy if you are at home with care tailored to your own needs. And when you're very limited, eating the food that you like and having the familiar things around you.
And being happy because you're home. That makes a big
it takes
difference.
on much greater significance.
Yes.
In any event, with my own mother, I was very frustrated with the process, that her autonomy was being protected for the wrong reasons. She was being scammed and she would be financially destitute if this continued. So, arising out of that, I started to learn more about the law relating to older people, relating to how we protect someone from financial predators, and that led me to a master's program in elder law.
Wow.
And then that opened up the rest of the subject matter.
That's that's great. When your personal and professional selves come together, I think there's nothing more rewarding, and it's clear that you have very strong passion about helping people, which indeed I like to think is why people become lawyers. It isn't always what I see in the world. So, kudos to you for staying focused on what's important. If I were listening, I'd want to know how to reach you. So how do people get in touch with you?
Sure. Well, we have, first of all, a website, which is parker-law-office.com. I am reachable by email at my email address, which is Lori, spelled the correct way with 4 letters. That's LORI, at parker-law-office.com. Or by telephone at 585-281-0717. We have 2 offices, one in Brighton/Henrietta, the other in Greece. We make home visits and try and make ourselves as accessible to our clients as possible.
That's great. I didn't know you made home visits. That's also very impressive. That's wonderful. Just to make sure people have the web address.
Yes.
So it's parker-law-office.com.
That is correct.
So it's
Perfect.
Parker Law Office, but the Parker, the law, the office are separated by hyphens. Parker-law-office.com.
Beautiful.
All right,
well done.
Awesome. And if anybody really gets stuck, you can always find Lori on the Grease Chamber site, which is greasechamber.org. Lori Parker, Parker Law Office, we are so delighted that you were able to join us today on Business Voice. I know you, but I still learned a ton, and I'm so impressed with the passion and the care and the knowledge that you bring to a very important area of the law, a very important area of community service. So thank you for being here, and we hope you join us again on Business Voice.
Thank you so much.
All right, that just about wraps it up for this edition of Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by SiteHub. I'm Sarah Lentini. So glad you joined us here today. Please do check us out on the web at greasechamber.org. That's greasechamber.org, and we look forward to having you tune in for the next edition of Business Voice.
You've been listening to Business Voice. The Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce serves businesses, nonprofits, and individuals throughout the region, focusing on promoting economic and community development and serving as the voice for business. The Chamber offers networking, education, advocacy, community events, and business services. It serves as an important platform for business leaders and citizens to come together in support of common goals.